Welcome to our new host. What's going to happen?
Oh, it's going to be brutal. I can see the comments already. Hopefully that works.
Right. We shall see. There's one way to find out later.
Yeah. Please, let's not all go to waste.
It wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah.
And I hope it's not this time, because today is a very special day. Partly because this is the 50th episode of Photomode UNPLUGGED. So thank you for everyone who stuck around. Already, I know. Almost a year. We've done it every week for almost a year. Incredible. But even better than that, Ruben's not here.
Yeah.
So anyone who watched last week will know that means he has now officially given up. He's quit virtual photography for good. So welcome to our new host. So Jack, anyone who doesn't know, this is Jack from TPM, or the Photomode magazine. And you are here because Ruben's not, but especially because I wanted you on to talk about Assassin's Creed Mirage, which is out today.
Yeah, today, yeah.
It is today. Before we get to that, though, I think some congratulations are in order.
What for?
For your good self. You have made it into the Ubisoft Creator Program, have you not?
I have, yeah. I must admit it's probably a total fluke, but I'm happy. I'm happy nonetheless. Yeah, it's bloody awesome.
I'm impressed because the requirements for that are
pretty steep.
Steep, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm hitting nowhere near them.
Don't be saying that. You've achieved the required minimum.
Yeah, I've achieved the required minimum.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you were already part of something with Ubisoft, weren't you?
Yeah, I was part of the UK community. Got invited. Oh man, earlier this year, January. Just after January.
February.
Yeah.
That's what's after January usually.
Usually, yeah. Yeah, definitely February then. Yeah. But yeah, no, that was pretty cool. That was very unexpected.
What was the event you went to?
It was basically Ubisoft. They host I think it might have been the first one or the second one. They host an event each year where they celebrate the UK community. So that's like all of their games, from like cosplayers to streamers to virtual photographers now. And the community votes on who deserves to win in a certain category.
So like community awards type thing.
Pretty much, yeah. It's bloody awesome. Yeah, they get like a little plaque and all sorts.
Yeah. Ubisoft have for so long now been really good supporters of Photomode, but I've always felt that they didn't really do that much when it comes to kind of interacting with virtual photographers very often. They've had a couple of contests, but they don't daily interact.
They're not like Guerrilla or PlayStation or Naughty Dog or anything like that, which is a shame. Yeah. Like you said, they've held the best photo mode contest, but their day-to-day stuff is still pretty lacking.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair enough. It's different approaches. Not everyone has to do the same thing.
Yeah.
It's good, though, to see people like yourself. And I think Aaron's just got in to the creator program as well.
Yeah,
I saw that
today. Literally like a couple of hours ago.
Yeah. So it's really good that people are getting accepted to that. And hopefully some good things will come from it.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah, fingers crossed. I hope so. Really hope so.
Well, I'd expect that they'll, provide some games and things.
Yeah, I don't know if I can talk about how it works or not. I mean, I didn't sign anything, so fuck it. It kind of pops up, and then you get invited to campaigns, and you can pick and choose what campaigns you want. So I could have accepted the Mirage campaign, so I would have provided with like a free key and stuff. And but I'd already bought it. It was on the way. So I think you just kind of tick off what games you're interested in. So like Far Cry to Watch Dogs to The Crew, and then they just They just fire opportunities at you, and then you can just pick and choose.
Yeah, it sounds really similar to the EA Creative Network. I can never remember the net. Yeah, it's create a program for one and network for the other. The EA Creative Network, which I've just managed to get into, and that's really similar. They give you what they call opportunities.
Yeah.
And so I've got early access to the WRC game at the moment, like a preview build. On there. Your first opportunity is this. Again, you can accept it. But you've got loads of like terms. You've got to include the word add. Specifically, it has to say add.
Yeah. Is yours EA partner as well, or is it?
It says that add is the only acceptable term for users in the UK.
Oh, okay.
So you can choose to add the rest as well, but you have to have add. Yeah.
I'll have to reread through that. Yeah, because it was pretty specific. Yeah, add and then Ubisoft partner, and that when I got the crew a couple of days early, like the kind of the pack that they sent over, it was add and Ubisoft partner. Yeah. So I'll have to check that.
And see, I didn't get that with the crew because I got the crew through the press portal. So you're giving it as a review embargo. It's different. But the creative ones, it does seem a little bit with the EA stuff. It's like it's worded as though they're paying for it, like which they're not, but they're providing you the stuff. They're almost kind of saying, "Well, by us giving you the stuff, that's our payment." So I think that's where it all has these legal terms, hence the disclosure. There's no problem with it. You've got to do the disclosure.
Yeah, you've got to do what you've got to do. Yeah.
Yeah. So Mirage. So you turned down Mirage.
Yes.
Just because you already got it.
Yeah, my partner got it for me for my birthday back in July, so I've been patiently waiting for months on end. But it was also a PC key, and my PC's just not good enough to run it, so I had to turn that down.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. Yeah, I was like, oh, really? I checked because I'm such an impatient ass that I had to play it like 24 hours early. But yeah, it just didn't work out.
You could use that key maybe as a giveaway on the magazine.
Oh, don't think it works
if
like
you're
that.
allowed.
Yeah.
It depends if you're allowed. Yeah, you can check with them, but some will allow you.
Okay. Yeah, I'll double check that. Yeah, I'll double check that then.
Okay, because I mean, if you want to plug your magazine, I believe you have a special edition coming up.
Maybe at the end of the month, hopefully. Timing is really annoying because I'm going on holiday at the end of October, so I've really timed that well. So it might be at the beginning of November, but we'll see.
Okay.
Some nice plug-in
It's Mirage themed, yeah.
Yes, Mirage themed, yeah. There'll be like other bits and bobs in it, but the main theme will be Mirage.
Excellent. So I have not yet played Mirage because I did not receive the game.
Boo.
Yeah. And I haven't bought it because there's so much on at the minute. I just thought if I buy it now, I end up not being able to find time for it anyway. Yeah. So it's just like when I get the chance. But you have been playing it?
Yeah, I busted out a couple of hours today. Just tried to get the intro done and out of the way. It was
famous.
Yeah, you know what it's like.
Tutorials.
Yeah, to be fair though, honestly, it was pretty quick. Probably if I really powered through it, I probably could have done it in about 45 minutes.
Well, the tutorial?
Yeah, like the whole like introduction, like
the prologue.
Yeah, the prologue.
That's a long tutorial.
The prologue was pretty speedy, and now you're kind of like in the world and just kind of build your skills up from there, which is quite impressive.
Because it's in Baghdad, right?
Yeah.
Is it entirely in Baghdad?
I'm not. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't completely. I don't know if there's like some secret area or something like that. You got Alamut, which is the headquarters of the assassins. They're building that at the moment. You can't go into the actual headquarters. You're kind of like in a canyon below it, which in itself looks pretty cool. And then you've got Baghdad, but you've got the surrounding deserts and the areas surrounding that oasis and kind of like wrecked cities and stuff from just what I've seen in the distance. I
think it looks like a really good setting for it. And I like that it's kind of going back to the older style of Assassin's Creed rather than the massive open world one.
Yeah.
I guess the next one's going to be massive open world anyway, isn't it?
Yeah. I think Codename Red. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty. That's done by Quebec, but I'm kind of in two minds about it because I think the Quebec's last Assassin's Creed game was Odyssey, so it's going to be like 6 years between those games, which is probably the longest development an AC title has had for quite a while. Yeah.
Oof, the expectations.
Yeah, and I think it might solely be current gen as well. So I think, Mirage is probably like the last hurrah for last gen.
Mirage. So it's done by the team who did the Valhalla add-on.
Roughly Druids, I think.
Yeah, that's it. I totally assumed that they would be sort of just building it on the Valhalla engine and what have you.
Yeah.
Makes sense, I think. But yeah, I want... How long have these generation consoles been out now? Was it end of 2019 did they launch?
Oh man,
or was it 2020? I can't remember now. But that's at least 3 years, or getting on 4 years maybe. Yeah. And to be still having cross-gen stuff, come on.
Isn't it? Well, I don't mind it if cross-gen, like if it was all handled like Guerrilla handled it, because the difference between last gen and current gen was just. It was night and day, really, wasn't it? And they've done an excellent job with the PS5 version. They didn't let the last gen hold it back at all.
And no, I agree. I agree mostly. But if you look at something like Ratchet and Clank, where that's not just not held back, it's taking advantage in a way that the other gen console could not do. You know, the Rift jumping stuff.
Yeah.
It's adding those mechanics that are impossible otherwise.
Yeah,
I think that's what I'd like to see more. Anyway, you are well known, I think, for shooting Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to say so. I think it's like your go-to.
It is. Yeah, it's probably because I'm pretty lazy. I get pretty comfortable. It's the photo mode I feel most at home in. So I tend to stick to it. But I'm a huge history nerd, so it's nice to run around in a historical playground. You're never going to visit these places in 1,000 years, so.
No.
Yeah.
Especially not that they were 1,000 years ago.
Yeah. So it's a good opportunity. It lets me fulfill that fantasy.
Yeah. Interesting that you said you like to be settled in a photo mode. Are you pleased?
It's all right. It's all right. There's definitely some downgrades, but it's not a huge amount. It's just like little tweaks here and there. They've kept like the basics. It's like you look the numbers that you pointed out in your article. Yeah. They're gone.
So that is okay.
Yeah.
They're little things that are trivialities. We'll have a look at the game after, but they're little things that are sometimes trivial. You know, if you see it on paper, you think, so what? But from a usability perspective, I mean, in The Crew is a perfect example. In The Crew 2, the focus thing, it sort of made the image black and white, but the band of where it's in focus was in colour. So you could see exactly where the focus was. And the steps are massive, so it helps to be able to track it.
Yeah.
In Motorfest, they got rid of it. And you've got this silly focus distance, which the steps can be huge, like the length of a car. So unless it happens to fall on a car, you might just go out of focus in front of the car to out of focus behind the car. It's really hard. And then you've got that stupid end and start.
Oh man, that's so irritating.
I don't like it.
Yeah. Especially
because the reverse of each other. One goes towards the car and one comes from the back.
Whatever.
But just that removal of the colour made it so much more difficult to use.
Yeah. There's no
Why
thought.
do it?
Yeah, there's no thought process behind it.
So I'm gonna put you on the spot slightly and say, because I've really only ever used Valhalla, and that was quite a long time ago.
Oh, really?
As in, yeah. I've not been that keen on Assassin's Creed as a series, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that hasn't really grabbed me that much. So I've only, in terms of using the photo mode, I've only spent any time with the Valhalla one. And it's all right. I think it's pretty good, actually. But you've spent much more time with them. So what would you say are your preferred, what are the best features of the Assassin's Creed photo mode?
Oh, man. Well, I'll go for Valhalla because that's like the most up to date. The contrast is pretty good in it because I think Origin didn't have that, so that's quite a good step up. I really like the fog effect as well. That's quite a good.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's quite handy little trick. That is. It really does help with some photos, especially during like Dark Age England. It goes hand in hand, doesn't it?
Definitely.
But and the DOF really, just the point. You put it wherever you want it, and then you can just.
Oh, is it? This is the trouble. Like you use so many different photo modes, you forget which had what sort of thing. Does it have the little cursor like on?
And you move it wherever you want the focus to be.
Yeah,
and then you can
so
kind of
like a focus here, like a touch focus.
Exactly. Yeah.
That is good, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I think they're definitely the strongest features. I think as well, like the problem is like we've had pretty much the same photo mode for 6 years now, and apart from adding full tilt and changing the filters around, we haven't really had much of an improvement. It's a solid foundation. It'd just be great if they built on it.
Yeah, I mean, so last week's episode was on about virtual photography is dead, which was obviously an extreme clickbaity title. It was. That's one of the points. It was shameless. That was one of the points that I hope we mentioned, because you always forget some certain things. But you're not seeing as much evolution in photo modes at the minute, and like Ragnarok is the perfect example.
Oh man, don't even get me started on that, man.
What was it? 5 years, 4 and a bit years between the games.
Yeah.
And the photo mode, it added some extra facial expressions, like you could do facial expressions for Mimir.
Yeah.
But then it lost features. Like they even lost a shortcut.
Yeah.
You're thinking backward steps doesn't really bode very well.
No, it doesn't make sense at all either, does it really? Especially, I mean, 2018, that wasn't like the greatest photo mode in the world, but what we had worked, and you could get some great stuff with it. But to start stripping stuff back away from it for the next game, it just seems...
Expectations shift as well. So the camera in 2018 the camera range was diabolical anyway, but you've not got as many alternate photo modes that really give you the luxury of that camera range anyway at the time. So you're not overly used to having a massive range. Obviously PC players have always done that because it's a free camera. But to then do the same again, in fact I think the range might have been slightly less, and it really makes it stand out because you've seen so many others that are far superior. And that was my slight concern, I think, for Assassin's Creed, because they showed a preview, didn't they, of this photo mode, and it was the same.
Yeah, it was the same.
If not worse.
Yeah.
And I thought, I don't know, is it like a bad sign of their level of enthusiasm for it?
So I don't know. I think it's probably a good mix of things. I think the main thing is that it was Ubisoft Bordeaux's. It was their main. It was the first ever like huge game. They've just been like stuck with DLCs before, so all of their focus would have been on perfecting everything in the game. True. And I do think during the photo mode probably was an afterthought for them. They wanted to get everything else right, and they were like, "We'll just chuck this over, make a few tweaks, and that'll be it."
Yeah,
which is fair enough. They've got things to. I mean, they've got bigger and better things to prove than a photo mode. Yeah,
that's kind of always everyone. I don't like that phrase actually of Photomode's been an afterthought. I don't think they ever like go, all right, we've got a few days left. What should we do? Stick a Photomode in.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen like.
yeah. It's not like a thing. Yeah, a couple of hours they can just bash it out.
Exactly. Just do a Photomode. Why not? Yeah. But there's probably some truth in the fact that it's a low priority feature.
Yeah.
In that kind of release, which is a shame, And this again harks back to how important virtual photography is to the studios. It's never good. The thing that's on sale really is the game itself, and that has to take top priority, obviously.
Yeah.
As long as it's working well. Do you want to jump over to the game now, and we'll see if it is working well?
Yes, mate. Yeah. We'll jump over to the game.
Let's do it.
Right. I had to pause it. I don't want to lose the daylight.
See, that's an interesting thing. I always think that Ubisoft games can look quite flat and really gamey, if that makes sense. So you need that strong directional light for the photo mode.
Yeah, during the night, especially like Valhalla and Odyssey and that, they were perfect description really. Totally flat.
Yeah.
You can't do too much with it.
Does this have full time of day then, I guess?
It's got a full cycle, yeah. Just not in the fighter mode. You can't cycle it through the fighter mode.
Right. Show me everything. I know that's quite a advanced thing to have to add, but I always think when the game supports time of day cycles, it would be nice to at least have some jumps in it, or if not, find control over it in the photo mode.
Yeah, I think just there you go. Can't really see the slider.
I can see the thing there.
Yeah, so I suppose we can just go through the filters. I've never really been a fan of the in-game filters. I use Origins quite often because there's quite a few of them. But Valhalla and Odyssey didn't really.
Are they all or nothing? There's no.
No, you can tweak.
I can't see any. Oh, right. I remember it. It's like they do sort of presets for the settings, don't they?
Yeah, and then you can.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Right. Oh, sorry, I'm being on one. Yeah. I was like, why it's not changing? It's like because it's a black and white filter, Jack.
I mean, it's a good job it's a photo mod that you're used to.
Used to, yeah.
How do you feel about, because Assassin's Creed is one of these that has a separate camera composition mode versus the sort of edit mode?
I don't mind it because it's your left stick, isn't it? So it's quick to chop and change it.
Yeah. I just always dislike it. I'd never liked having to go back and forth to move my camera, because especially if it's one where you can't change the settings while the UI's up, because you've got the UI there and the thing that I'm actually taking a picture of might be partially hidden while I'm adjusting stuff. Like, let's say I want to set the focus on a character, but they're behind the UI. Then I have to come out of it to move the camera, and now I can't see the UI. So I've got to try and remember where it was and make sure that they're over there, and then go back in and then do the focus and then come back out and change it. It just bugs me. It's a lot easier if you can A, move the camera while you're in the setting, and B, change the settings while the UI is hidden. Everything should do that.
Yeah, I don't really mind it, man. It's when things take forever, like the cruise. Like, that is an absolute nightmare because everything takes forever to load.
Yeah.
Like, switching between them both is not a fun task.
Yeah, you get that. It's even like a little loading bloody screen.
Yeah, man. Like, it shouldn't be that difficult. So I'll get what you mean, but I think this is bearable.
What's the camera range like?
Pretty much the same as the others. Let's have a look. That's the thing. Like the best thing about the latest Assassin's Creeds is the bird. So here is. It's really not much. I mean, it's workable.
Yeah.
Um,
And at least it's free cam. Does it still have an optional orbit mode? Yeah, it does. I can see the L3 and right stick for orbit.
I've actually never used it because orbital camera are absolute crap.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
When orbit camera is the only option.
Yeah. I've never.
When it's there as well, then they can be handy for sort of exploring angles for portraits and things like that.
Yeah, but the range. What bugs me the most is.
Oh, I remember that.
It's better with NPCs. You're able to get a little closer.
Yeah.
But not by much. But yeah, it's just it drives me insane.
And in Valhalla, because I've seen that, I remember writing about it in the review, and it's one of those things that while I'm writing, I think, does this just sound petty? But you move, and you can't tell when it's going to make the character disappear, and they disappear, and then you move back, and they don't reappear. So you've got to go way
back. Yeah.
And then you go around, try and get closer again, and then they disappear again. Oh my god!
So, yeah, I know. I totally understand the frustration. Absolute nightmare. But like, oh shit. I don't think I can do that. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I suppose the cheat is for range. Oh, so I forgot people can shoot your birds in this game.
Yeah.
It's the bird, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's pretty much unlimited. The bird. It's
yeah, because that can fly the whole map, can't it?
Yeah, it can fly the whole map. It just can't get close to the ground.
Oh yeah.
So, if you're out on the sand dunes and stuff, you're kind of limited on how low you can get with it.
Yeah. Well, I remember. So what we typically do with this is take a shot during the podcast, which becomes the cover for.
Oh man, no pressure then. No pressure. Jesus, all right.
Don't know if you've got any shots in mind.
Can I do a Blue Peter? Can I
use what I made earlier?
Yeah. I made a.
Well, you could have at least. What you mean? Recreate one that you've already taken?
Oh God, no. I'm not that talented. Fluke, mate.
Well, I'll tell you what. See what happens, and if it's really shocking.
Yeah.
Then we'll revert to
have some confidence, Mick. Jesus. I did take one. I hope I took one. Where we were chatting away. So hopefully we can use that.
Okay. Can I have one as well? This is a request. With the hooded assassin visible.
Oh, okay. Deal. Pet this cat first. That invisible cat.
Oh, the cat's gone. That's the best kind of cat. Ones that are not there.
Oh, this is going to be an unpopular episode. I can feel it already, Mick.
No. I don't like cats. Yeah, I'm definitely on the dog side of things.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't mind. I wouldn't have a cat, but I like cats. I much prefer dogs.
The fog there, by the way, I noticed this before. It looks a bit like a sandstorm in the distance.
Yeah.
How does it?
I think in the desert areas, it really does look like a sandstorm. But I think in the lower streets, it still acts foggish.
Right.
Yeah, still quite foggy.
Can you bring it right up to you?
Let's have a look. Ish. Not right up to you.
No.
But
it's handy though. It adds. It just.
Yeah.
To remove a bit of background distraction and create more atmosphere. You don't always want everything to be crystal clear, I don't think.
Yeah, for the certain landscape, it's ideal. It really does add loads to it.
Right, notice there as well, bloom, and there's certain features which are still really rare. Being able to adjust settings when the UI is hidden is one of them, but you get exposure, you sometimes get contrast and saturation, but you very rarely get the ones that go further. And bloom is one of those sort of additional options, and I like it actually, because you can make like really soft glow on light sources and things when you've got bloom. I can't remember how well it works in Valhalla.
To be honest, it kind of, where are we? It comes pretty low anyway. But I think if you whack it all the way up, I tend to just turn it off altogether.
Okay.
Because I tend not to like it, in all honesty.
I don't mind it. It depends. I would only use it on like a fairly intense light source. It's probably most where you'll see it, to be honest. But you kind of get it because like camera sensors do it. So if you've got something really bright, you generate a voltage on that pixel, but you get bleed into the next ones as well. So you get sort of this glare it's actually on the sensor. And that's why camera sensors do it. So I like stuff that can recreate effects and faults of camera, actually.
Yeah. So you and your camera knowledge, man, that goes straight over my head.
It's not something I've ever... Well, I studied photography as part of the crime scene investigation. During my forensics. But in terms of like artistic photography, it's not something I've ever studied. It's just purely from self-teaching and buying a camera, getting to the limits of it, buying a better camera, and just keep working through. I think the best way to learn is just to simply find the limits of what, like, you end up going, why doesn't my picture look like that? And then you can understand what was taken, how it was taken differently, why that lens was superior to your lens. This is good. This could work as a cover. It's a bit tight.
Oh. Do you want me to?
No, I'm not. I don't want to pressure and alter it.
Critiques, mate.
He looks like a good Assassin's Creed character, I think.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
I'm still in two minds, man. Like at the beginning, you're a street thief, but he always looked like fresh faced. And I've said it before. He looks like he had a skin routine. And it was really strange. But I think the beard definitely does add. See, there's the bloom.
Can you change the facial hair?
No. Unfortunately.
See, that then was a good example of when bloom doesn't work. I don't like the bloom on a face like that. That's not good.
It's far too much, isn't it?
Yeah. And then just look at those: depth of field, exposure, contrast, temperature, tint, saturation, noise, good, vignette, bloom, and fog. I think that's a good list.
It's not. It's a solid foundation, man. It's you've got a couple good things there.
No, it is good. Frames are missing.
Yeah, but who uses frames, man?
Okay, fair point.
Yeah.
But I do use the cinema bars, the 21:9 type crop. I know it's only a crop anyway, but it just helps to actually compose in that, because I like to shoot the wider frame. So having it there is helpful for composition, to be honest. It's the same as how people use the grid. I don't know how do you rely on the grid much? Or?
Yeah. Especially this, because you can actually cycle through grids.
I'm glad you've shown that, because I've forgotten.
Yeah, it's quite handy, to be honest. Yeah, I usually switch between this one, just like a crosshair.
A center.
Yeah, and then this one, for the rule of thirds and whatnot.
See, the thirds grid is the one you almost always get. I like to have it, but I don't like to rely on it, because I think it becomes a little bit constrictive. Like, people try too hard to align on the thirds and to put it on the actual cross grid.
Yeah.
I just go off by eye, because different things can affect the balance and the feel of an image, not just the positioning. It can be the balance of shadow as well. The darker one side of the image is, the more it feels like the balance is tipped that way, even if physically in the shot it isn't. And if you rely just on lining up with the grid, you can lose sight of that, I find. But it's certainly helpful to confirm, oh my God, going for a murderous shot.
I don't know why, because I'm terrible at these shots. But
He's
yeah,
got a shot
I'll
in
get what
the
you
neck.
mean. Yeah, rather than, don't rely on it, just use it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a guide. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, it's terrible. I got a really good one earlier, though. The guy's face was
You did?
brilliant. Oh, shit.
Oh, you're being attacked. While I remember also, is the camera roll 90 degrees still?
It is indeed.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Because that would have been a bad
That would have been a kick in the teeth.
backwards step.
Yeah. Because I remember the when Odyssey came out, and that I think that came out with just like the 45, and everyone kind of wigged out, and rightly so.
It's just,
Then they patched
Jedi
it in.
Fallen Order was another one that had
Oh, did
45
they only have
I think, right
45?
at the start, and then they patched it. And it's just like, what are you thinking?
Yeah, you're halfway there, man. Just commit and get it all the way.
And you just do 360 and have done.
Yeah.
And then
What was it? Wow, what's the is it Cyberpunk? That was like a really weird one. Was that even 45? I don't even think it was 45, was it? The photo mode, it didn't even make it to 45. It was like some pathetic number.
Yeah, like they probably just only thought about adding a bit of
just a
Dutch
bit
tilt.
of something. Yeah. So
I just think as with everything, the more freedom you allow, the more people can do with it.
Yeah, that's why I think. That's why I'm always moaning about the lack of range and stuff, because that is the thing that gives you the most amount of freedom. You do so much. You can build off of that if everything else is in place.
Yeah, exactly. And like, if you wanted to just get the absolute essentials right, it's giving me freedom of movement with the camera and good camera movement controls.
Yeah.
Give me good exposure and lighting options and depth of field. And the rest will just fall into place anyway.
Yeah, exactly that.
With those things, I can take advantage of whatever else is there. And without those, you simply can't.
Yeah, you're screwed. That's what, like, I'm yet to even carry on playing Ragnarok. But everything I see from it, I just can't help but think, like, man, how did you even get that? Because it's bloody, like, it's awesome, man. Like, some of the stuff that people are putting out, it's absolutely amazing. I know I wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have to do the workarounds to fight against the camera.
Yeah.
You know.
I definitely agree with that.
Is this technically still a free roaming game? Because you're able to just go anywhere now.
Yeah, just able to go anywhere. It's not like I think the earlier ones kind of blocked you with like some invisible wall. But so I started out, I think over there.
Yeah.
And then I went over here. And I'm not even meant to be in here yet. But I think it's the prettiest part of the map, so I thought I might as well just break in. Yeah, for the video.
A few random assassinations on the way. Why not?
Yeah, why not, man? Let them know I'm here. But first thing I did was kind of I ran off into the wilderness as well, into the desert, just to see what was actually out there. Pretty much go anywhere. Actually, while we're on, sorry.
Does it still have that where it will show you on the map where you took certain pictures?
Ooh, nothing's coming up. Like, it won't do it. No, nothing. Because you can actually see people in your friends lists as well. Which was quite interesting. Well, that's annoying.
We shall keep an eye out for that. Because I've always wanted to have, that's something I'd love to have on the website, is like interactive game maps where people can just submit places, photo spots, like, where did you go to take such a shot here?
That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. When you add it to your website.
Oh, well, I would if I could, but I don't know how.
Not with that attitude, Nick.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's a killer idea. That. Yeah, I really like that. I don't know why, but GTA 5 sprung to mind.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of just got the idea from with real world photography. Like, there's a website called Location Scout, which is a similar idea, basically.
Yeah, don't iPhones have something similar as well?
I don't know. Well, they've got like geotagging of your own pictures. I don't know if you can sort of search an area. I suppose you can, because Google Maps can just see photos nearby, can't it?
Yeah. A guy from work kind of brought up his photos, but he went on his albums and then switched to like a map.
Yeah.
And then just zoomed in because he wanted to show me some woodland that he went to at Christmas where all the lights and stuff were up. Yeah, I think that's pretty slick.
Yeah. Speaking of slick, before you came on, and this was a few days ago, you created a challenge, and that you were confident that you were going to be good at, and that was who could tell the best joke.
Oh man, I haven't even bloody thought of one. What a letdown.
Now then, what's going to happen?
Have you got one?
Do you have any?
Oh man,
I haven't prepared. I have not researched a joke. I have two jokes in mind that like there's certain jokes you can always remember.
Yeah.
For anyone who's new to the podcast, we went through a phase of me telling silly sort of dad jokes, and which were very popular, actually. But Ruben liked to complain about them. But we kind of stopped doing it just because we didn't want to have to shoehorn it in every episode. But you said that Philip had requested.
Yeah, it's Philip's fault, man. Let's blame him. Oh man, I totally forgot about that. There's a really good one. That guy, a buddy at work, he's like the ultimate. It's like a dad joke machine. He'll come up to you like every half hour and just tell you a joke. It's a real weird talent. But he came up with a good one the other day. I was like, yeah, I've got to remember that.
And you've forgotten it.
Yeah, I can't remember it.
Shocking.
Yeah, I'm afraid I'm going to be a letdown, mate. What are yours anyway, please?
Well, of the two that I can always remember, one of them I don't think is suitable for telling on.
Just do an
it's
R-rated
not
version, man.
Particularly vulgar one, but it's just it's a little R-rated. Not a family show as such, but I don't think it's one for the day. So the one I'll go with, and I'm not saying, I mean, I'm clearly going to win because it's against nothing.
Yeah.
So a guy walks into a bar, sits down, and he orders, say, dry martini, shaken, not stirred. So the barmaid, there you go, gives him. And then so this guy sits there, takes a sip, and he just sort of sits straight at the bar, shuffles over to this other guy, leans in and says, "How high do penguins grow?" And this guy's like, "Sorry, man?" And he says again, "How high do penguins grow?" And the guy's like, "I don't know, like 2 feet." And all of a sudden this guy's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it." No, what's the matter with you? He says, "I think I've just run over a nun."
Oh, Jesus. I like that one. That was good. Yeah, I like that one.
Right. Well, it's a shame that you haven't got one to counter.
Oh,
so
man,
instead,
what a letdown. Yeah,
I was gonna ask the audience, our loyal viewers and listeners, which joke they preferred.
Yeah.
But instead, what you can do is tell us which host you prefer. Team Jack or Team Ruben.
Oh, don't do that, man. Oh, it's going to be embarrassing, man. I'm going to get eradicated.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Ruben's not here to make his case. Jack's just given us a wonderful episode. So, you know, and then for that might change the host for next week.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe. I thought it. God. Oh man, I can see the comments already. Jeez, I can see Phillips in particular, man. Oh, it's gonna be brutal.
I look forward to it.
I'm
On
not.
that bombshell.
Yeah.